Hey guys, it's Trisha of Triumph with Trisha, back again. Super long and awesome productive day, and before I go to my bed, I have to get this video out. Remember I said before the very first one, every day I'm putting some content out, so that's what I'm here doing. Um, the last video I talked about getting ready to get ready, and I guess procrastination and like the anxiety that can bring about. And I was looking at things like this because I'm going somewhere, right? Why do you self sabotage? Do you have, if you're like, I don't know, in some type of position, you have a business, you have a service, you're a coach even, or you aspire to be, maybe you already help people, but you've not officially started, a coaching business or something, and you have a hard time even coming up with a fee to charge somebody for the help or the services that you've provided? Or do you struggle with believing that you're actually worthy of, worthy of it? It's hard to receive compensation, or maybe you actually think that you cannot do it. Those are all forms of self-sabotage. You're deserving to be compensated for the time and energy that you put into helping somebody. And it's okay to receive it. It's okay to have the price, for that person to, tell them what the price is, and for them to pay for you to receive it. It is fine. You deserve good things. But it's self-sabotage. There's many different things that we, just as humans, do sometimes. I have done that, gotten in my own way before. Sometimes we don't realize. I do have somebody here. If you hear some other noise, they've already gone. What was I saying? Because I have now survived this treacherous divorce, and there's a lot of things that are upside down in my life, and I don't know how to accomplish the things that I wanted to do. And the main thing was go back to school. I've always had a desire to be self-employed and work for myself, and I just couldn't see it. I have these kids, all these things that are just, they're not right. I didn't see it. And so the things that I would say is I can't do it right now because they're so young, because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all these different reasons. And I kept saying that, and it kept not happening. And opportunities kept not being presented to me. And I got so frustrated and discouraged. I didn't have the belief. I didn't think that I could do it. I just couldn't see it. I didn't decide that I was going to do it and make it happen. Not at that time anyway. It was a few years where I was finally like, this is enough. I wanted to be out of my own way. I didn't always know how to do it, but I'm telling you, the decision, that's where things changed. I wanted to be unblocked, right? I did not want to experience the same monotonous foolishness anymore, because it just wasn't getting me anywhere. And the dream that I've had for myself, and the things I want to be able to do with my family and for my kids, and just even for myself, was just getting further and further away from me. I used I guess you could say, the fuel. I used all those feelings as fuel to not give up on myself. But it all started with a decision. It really did. So, these are some of the common things that I have found entrepreneurs often do. Their mistakes, right? Is not totally understanding. Remember, when I look here, I have a notebook, my talking points, because I have a lot of things to say, and I'm trying to keep it all right here and very succinct. So not understanding your own actual motives for what your business is, or why you even want it. Like, why do you want to make money from this? Why? Not charging your worth. Oftentimes, there's a lot of people that struggle with that. I can't just take it, and they feel weird about receiving money for this thing. It's a product that they made. It's a service, what have you. A lot of difficulty moving past employee, the mentality, because when we have a job and we go to work, and let me be clear, I'm not knocking a job at oh, people need to have jobs. This is a thing that still needs to happen. So when you go to a job, and I've had jobs throughout my life, various jobs, but when we do go to one, you have to be there at a certain time. They tell you when you can take your break, when you can take your lunch, when you can take your other break, and what time you can leave. If you can ask if overtime is available, you gotta maybe switch shifts. Are you there for in a salary position? Then if you are, sometimes your hours are not 9 to 5 or 11 to 7 or whatnot. You're there until that work is done. When you're a parent and you have emergencies and things just happen, these are my experiences anyway. They don't care. Do you have somebody to deal with that? Because we need you here. So maybe we'll let you leave early today, but you need to be here. And so the going here and getting paid for 40 hours, 50 hours, 45 hours from this time to this time, this is my break, this is my lunch, is something that we're actually trained to do, right? You go to school, and this is an old school mentality that has been changing, but it's slow still, right? And a lot of people still think this way and believe this is the only way to go. You go to school, do your after high school education, university, you get that good job, and that's it. You might switch a few jobs or occupations throughout your adulthood, but you have to have that piece of paper. When you work for yourself, you actually have to work harder for yourself than you ever did for your previous employer. But we have to either turn something on or turn something off, because it's so difficult for so many of us to understand that part, boundaries. And I'll get into more of that as I roll out some more content. But it's definitely a thing that many people deal with. And it's so interesting how much, and also entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Some people thrive and do their best at a job, in a job environment, in an office or wherever they were working, and that's also totally fine. You do not have to be an entrepreneur. However, if you want to be one, you should be able to do that, right? Okay, I think that fear, guilt, and not being clear on what we want to do, which way we want to go, they're pretty huge. And I have some tools and resources and some pretty good information to get into with you guys as to how to get clear on some things, if that's what you actually are wanting to do, and what is your relationship around money. I actually had a bias. I had a pretty significant, I feel like the camera's right in my face, a pretty significant block to receiving money. You have a bias, just the people, maybe your primary care people, your primary caregivers, and whatever they did or said, whatever their experiences were when you were growing up, you take in all of this information, and sometimes, usually, we don't even realize how we have come to have these certain feelings that are often negative towards money, earning a certain amount of income and whatnot. So we're going to do a deeper dive into that, because I had to take a look at that for myself. When I started some personal development, I was like, negativity bias? I've never even heard of this before. And it's a real thing. Looking inwards and releasing the block. You want to receive this compensation for something, because you wouldn't go to your job and be fine with not getting paid. So when you are the one doing the work, expect to be paid. And that's absolutely fine. That's how it should be. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. It's just something to think about, and I'm going to talk about some more things tomorrow and in the upcoming days, how we can work through that. It's going to be really good. It's a mini series, if you will, but that's what I got for you tonight. All said with love. Have a good night.